Hello and welcome to this Good Vibrations reading for the week of September 3rd of 2018. So I had a real strong feeling that I wanted to talk about in astrology, and I know not everybody's into astrology, but it ties in with the Sabian symbol we have this week. Virgo 16. In the zoo, children are brought face to face with an orang-utang. And what I felt from this is that even within ourselves, we may be seeing some things show up that don't seem to fit the pattern of who we thought we were. This is all a part of the Aquarian age. We're waking up to these new, very unique aspects of who we are. And the reason I mention astrology is that I keep saying in all my readings, I'm sure people are tired of hearing it, is that I'm on a personal crusade to make the rising sign much more important than your sun sign. And I mean, this is so powerful to me that I'm really starting to call myself a Libra, because I am a Libra rising. I have a sun that is in Pisces. I have a moon that is in Cancer. So I've always, as we all do, we refer to ourselves as our sun sign. But the deal is that the sun is just one of the 10 planets. It is a powerful one, as is the moon. The sun represents our masculine energy. It's how we shine ourselves. It's how we do things. It's how we best do things. And the moon is the deep inner wisdom. It is the feminine energy that if we are receptive of taking in our world and seeing what comes up within us as wisdom and then act with our sun energy according to that, that is living in this nice symbiosis of the masculine and feminine energies. So yes, the moon and the sun are incredibly powerful among the set of 10 planets, but the rising sign indicates that energy that your soul chose at the time of incarnation. It is the very first line that comes out from the center of your astrological wheel that you set up very specifically for yourself, with a date, with a time, with a location. And the first line that comes out of that, voom, goes over to your rising sign. It is the constellation that was on the rising point. This is what you are here to come to really know about yourself. This is the facet of the huge diamond that you are that wants to be shined up. It wants to be honed. It wants to be understood. And so what if we come to understand ourselves as our rising sign? And the sun and the moon and all the rest of the planets are just helping us to get there. And this really, I'm certainly not the first to say this, but I feel like I'm really charged up about this idea of coming to know our identity in a new way. And I'm giving you something very tangible here in order to do that. And if you don't yet have your astrological chart, I will leave steps down below in this YouTube reading so that you can set up your own astrological chart for free. And you just need to look at the very first line. There's a circle in the center. Once you set it up and you get a graphic, there's a circle in the center. That is you at the time of your birth. I want you to look from that circle. If you're looking at the image, go from the circle over to the left, right at the horizon line, and see what sign that goes into. I'll also include information about what those glyphs mean and which sign they're related to, because not everybody is into astrology, but this is a very tangible way that you could come to know a part of yourself that you have never thought about before. And you've always considered yourself, in my case, a Pisces. And the more I come to realize that, I'm like, yeah, I'm not really totally a Pisces. That's not really my operating system. But when I think about Libra, now that makes sense to me. It's about harmony for me. It's about relationships. It's about the importance of connection with others. And it's about focusing on what is beautiful and lovely in my world. And Libra also can have a hard time making decisions because it wants to be in both camps at once. Two are better than one. It wants to be in both places. I don't want to have to decide. Thus, I have an intuitive business and I work in a corporate setting. I didn't want to choose. I want to do both. That's so Libran. So I'm saying this because this is what I feel is the foundation of our message for this week. And I'm focused on whatever brings you a better vibration, something that fills you up, that gives you hope, that spurs inspiration within you. That's what I'm focused on as a reader for you. So again, I'm going to read this symbol and make the connection one more time. Virgo 16, in the zoo, children are brought face to face with an orangutan. This is about coming to know that you're not like everybody else. You are the orangutan in this case. And we all are orangutans. We all are, well, I shouldn't say that because then we'd all be the same. You're an orangutan, over there you're a peacock, over there you're a elephant. We're a giant zoo. But when we start looking at each other like, oh, right, you're a Pisces. Oh, I know what that's about. And we do that to ourselves. And this symbol, I think, we're almost both the children and the orangutan. Like, we're looking at ourselves like, oh, right, I'm a Pisces. Or there's many other category systems, that you were born in this season, or you're part of this town, or you're part of this employer. You name the meaning and the label, or, oh, you have all this money, or, oh, you drive that car, or, think about all the labels we put on things. I'm trying to give you one to really push you when it comes to astrology, because that's something very tangible and that I'm personally looking to kind of break apart, is the fact that this rising sign, if you could encourage yourself to embrace that, that is really your unique essence that you came here to explore. That is the uniqueness, that you don't have to look at the crazy animal behind the bars and say, oh yeah, that's that, and put this label on it and look at it like, oh, right, like we're all a freak of nature or something. It's much more, there's much more richness to it than that. And I just want a personal exploration for you. And this is Virgo 16. So in the numerological value, 1 + 6 is 7. That is about being the contemplative truth seeker. That is about not just taking labels and owning that oh, that's what I am and that's it. And in astrology, there is way more to you than just even your rising sign, or just your sun, or just your moon. It's all of it. It's integral. So that's why it's so rich to do those readings. But I'm just giving you a little poke here. Like, maybe consider, maybe I do need to, start adopting more of this way of thinking that is my rising sign, because that colors every other part of your experience, and it helps to explain why you are like you are, which doesn't always make sense when we consider our sun or our moon. Okay? So I feel like these cards for this week are going to speak to let's see. I can't get specific enough, because if we consider the astrological signs, there's 12 of them. But I feel like it's perhaps what allows you to open up more to that different, or maybe instead, what is that essence that's looking to come through. And Again, you can get much more specific if you do this little astrological exercise and take a look at that rising sign for yourself. But like, what essence, generally speaking, I only have 3 choices here. So what wants to come forward for you? What wants to be seen as a core part of your essence instead of just being labeled as part of this big group that you have to be like this and that it's only that? There's something else wanting to come through this week. It wants to open you up. And also, as additional to the energies of this week, on the 5th, Mercury will move into Virgo. So that is about fine-tuning and perfecting in terms of how we process, how we see our world and ourselves, how we process that. And then Saturn, the planet of restriction, is moving direct. It's been in retrograde motion, so we've been maybe doing a lot of self-reflection around our own self-imposed restrictive habits. It's been in retrograde since April. So, and this is in Capricorn. It's calling you to be more. It's calling you to achieve a higher state of being and to break free of some of these self-imposed restrictions. Like, oh, right, you're a Pisces. I know about that. Living in woo-woo land 24/7. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. I certainly have portions of me that are Pisces, but generally, no, not really. So it's looking deeper. You're looking deeper, and you are fine-tuning and becoming more clear in these aspects of who you are on this planet and what you came to be. And it might look very different. It might be an orangutan compared to a beautifully dressed 5-year-old with the perfect shoes. You know, the kid looking at the orangutan. You might be bringing out more of the orangutan. It's okay for this wild within to show itself. So I'm wondering, perhaps the cards speak to the wild within. So the first card up, speaking of wild, is from the Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides deck. This is the shark. Comes up for you. And this says, trust your instincts to discern the truth of the situation. Ooh boy, if this doesn't feel like Scorpio to me. And Scorpio can be shark-like, can like run under the waters and like dart. And there can be a bite sometimes with Scorpio. It's this energy of coming to know a quick truth, because I think of that with the shark. And to that it's okay to look to and rely upon your emotional, because the shark is within waters. It's the water element, it's emotion, it's intuition. It's okay to rely on that emotional reaction you tend to have. I bet you anything it's related to your rising sign, that it tends to guide your behavior. But can you see the dissonance if you're thinking about yourself, for instance, as a Pisces, when really it's Libra? I just want this balance, and it shows up everywhere in my life. Nothing more that I like than harmony and balance in my relationships. That is core to what matters to me. And so this for you, the shark, it's getting down to a deeper truth. So there is a depth to who you really are that breaks you. This breaks you out of the label. This breaks you out of being in a camp or in a grouping, which in our humanity, we do that so much. Oh, right, you work for that employer. Or, oh, right, you're a Virgo. Or, oh, yeah, you live in that part of the town. Or on that street, or in that kind of house. Or you drive that kind of car. Or you make this kind of money. Or you hang with those kind of friends. That's how we make sense of our world, is to put all these these buckets of meaning around everything and label as much as we can, when indeed we're all so unique. And this part of you, this is the wild within that wants to come forward, is this desire and this allegiance to a deeper truth. And that it's okay also to notice when you come to what I call, what's being shown to me as a quick truth, where you know, and maybe you think, oh, I really need to noodle on this for a while, and I can't just make a quick decision. Maybe your wild within is calling you to make a quick decision, because that is what our gut reaction to things tends to be, the very best answer for us. It tends to be what gets us closer to the wholeness that we are, because we have to make a decision in the moment. That's the beauty of intuitive work. As I do these readings, whether it's astrology or cards or an in-person session with me or a session with a horse, I very much have to just be right here, right now with you, and I'm literally giving you what is coming to me in the moment. That's what's so gratifying about intuitive work. And I feel that with this. It feels like it's connected to the water signs, and that idea of like quick wisdom, and that you can just spit it on out, or at least acknowledge that truth for yourself, and that it's okay. You don't have to like take months and months and months of your time, or perhaps you don't have to go through some big long certification course in order to be able to do X. What if you relied on your quick wisdom to help you step through that and develop a process that really works best for you? What if that is who you really are? What if that's the wild within that is so wanting your attention, but you keep slogging through like, nope, one foot in front of the other. I'm just working away. It's going to take me 6 more years, but I'm going to do it. What if that's not the case? So, and this doesn't have to point to that your rising sign is one of the water signs. It's just got that element to it of Scorpio for me. Intensity and a speed of judgment to a solution. Not judgment, a speed of discernment to a solution, and really wanting to get to the base note, wanting to get down there and get to the seed, the bottom of it. There's value in that for you. Okay? Good. So the second card's from the Angel Tarot. We have the 6 of Fire comes up for you. And again, this feels like the wild within, the orangutan that's been held behind the bars, and everybody is like, yep, that's what you are. It's like being defined from the outside in. And this switch that is calling your name this week is defining from the inside out. And again, one way to do that is to look at your rising sign, because we don't look closely enough at that in astrology. So the 6 of Fire is victory. Good news is on its way, public recognitions or awards. And the 6 energy is about this reestablishing of balance and being this compassionate humanitarian feeling to it. A passionate caregiver, compassionate caregiver. And of course, with the suit of fire, this is a very uplifting wild within that I'm sensing, that is about seeing the reward in everything that occurs. Even if you've been trampled down, you've been beat up, you've been, living with a toxic person, or you feel like you have been, run over the coals. There's a real sense of the wild within wanting you to see the pure value and reward of that experience, because those experiences tune you even more vividly and quickly to what to a truth about yourself. Whatever it is, the very hard stuff, feeling like you've been sold out or sold a bill of goods, however that goes. It's this sense of like you're coming to know a whole different way of looking at that. Good news is on its way. That's what this valiant knight upon the horse has, all of this vim and vigor, this fire within to say, oh no, I don't see it that way. But can you see how this is the orangutan within you? Like, because we are on very well-defined pathways when it comes to these labels and meanings and bucketizing that we do to make sense of our world. It's just how we do it here. But the orangutan within you is like, I don't want to be in the cage anymore. I don't want all these kids showing up and going, yeah, look at that, laughing their heads off and being like, wow, that is just weird, and feeling like so out of place. Can you feel, we do that with ourselves. Like, no, I need to follow this path, or I need to be part of this meaning, or this label, or this bucket of people. We do that to ourselves. This orangutan, this wild within us, starts to feel totally ignored and not important at all, when it is the very thing, just like a rising sign, that makes you incredibly unique, and even you don't totally understand it. But that is the beauty of a lifetime on this planet. You come to understand it. But you have to be aware that it's in there in the first place. So there's an opportunity here with your wild within to see everything as good news is on its way. Good news has already come to me. This is all working out for me. This is very much a law of attraction, kind of a part of that theory, way of living, way of looking at the world. That this is helping me get closer to what I do want and need at this point in my life in order for me to embrace the wild within. Sometimes endings have to come in order to send you on your way in a new direction. And that's good news indeed. Okay. The third card is the Flower Therapy deck. And you have this super uplifting card, Smile, the sunflower. And this says, simply smile and notice the profound and healing difference it makes. So, oh great healers out there who receive this card, I get a real strong sense of service with your wild within, of wanting healer, heal thyself, is what I just heard. Such a famous phrase in the spiritual circles, especially, how so many people come to whatever it is that they want to do in this life. Even that doesn't necessarily mean what you do to make money, but it could be volunteering, it could be just the way that you choose to live your life, it could be developing new friendships and relationships. There is a healing component to this wild within you that has to do with humor, that has to do with an uber positive way of life. Just think about if you were to step into a field of sunflowers, besides those of you who might have an allergy reaction, as I probably would, just looking at all of that yellow and the uplifting experience that offers, can be reward in itself. And what I know from an energy perspective is when you feel that vibrance, consider yourself this week in the middle of that field of wildflowers, and there's flowers as far as you can see, and they're all at their peak. They're just vibrant and strong and gorgeous, like just overflowing, and there's a beautiful, brilliant blue sky. That contrast of the yellow and the blue it makes the best of both on purpose. That those two colors put together, that vibrant blue sky, the beautiful vibrant yellow of the flower is exactly what's needed to show the brilliance of both. And so as you feel that way, what literally happens in your energy field is this recharging of the whole system, and sometimes a complete rewiring effort that happens. That does occur, and if you sustain that vibration, that feeling for a length of time, for a period of time, then you will start to see things turn around in your world. It's just simply the way it is with energy, because you are emitting a signal like a radio station 24/7. There isn't a moment that you're not emitting a signal, and therefore you draw those waves of energy, i.e. experiences, people, emotions, events, you name it. You draw that to you. So why not do it on purpose? Why not smile on purpose? Why not have that power of positivity? Not because it's like, oh, that's the thing to do these days and let's all be a Pollyanna. It's just because it feels good. It's just because there's like no downside to it. Is it helping the world that you're affixed to your TV and watching everything that's playing out on the world stage? Are you in your individual house, in your town, in your state, in your country? Are you helping the vibration by doing that, or are you joining more of the same? Because remember, this reading is about that wild within. This is waking up something within you that is ready to be seen, that you may not have categorized yourself this way, and yet it is the very thing that wants to come forward for you, is this sense of this. And I just love the way this starts. Simply smile. I hear training tactics at my work, my corporate work, where when you answer the phone, you smile. You just smile. And it's amazing how the conversation just takes on a whole different tone. And it's because it exudes from you, and therefore that person then exudes that back, because that is the signal that is being delivered to them. And then they reflect that back. It's like when a child is having a temper tantrum or screaming their head off about something, if they're even older teenagers. A strategy that can tend to work really well is getting quiet, taking a moment, not saying anything, let them get it out, and then you speak in a very calm and even voice. And you give them love through your words, through your vibration. And it changes the whole dynamic just like that. Not in every case, but that tends to work very well. It just diffuses the whole situation. So there's just a real, I feel like this is about you smiling from within, and then in that moment, the blue sky moments appear, because it's like better together. It's like your energy, when you're exuding that, then the better comes at you in the form of, in this case, the blue sky. We think of my blue sky shop idea that I have, all these uplifting, the blue sky is always there, the hope, the inspiration, it's always there. But we have to give an opening to even be able to see it. And for you, it's that openness to this, simply smile. Even when it's tough stuff, the blue sky is always there and ready for your opening, anytime. So that wild within, for all of us this week, what is that wild within for you that then opens the doors? It opens the cage for the orangutan to come out and not be seen as something that is different, but instead something that has always been a part of you and has just been waiting to be seen. Enjoy your week.